Pete Seeger on. We stand in awe of Pete Seeger. His tenaciousness. He fought long and hard for labor. He fought for the environment. He fought just like every kind of fight imaginable. They blacklisted him. They couldn't stop him. Well, it's only fitting that we have him in this great hall, in this place where Chief Red Cloud of the NYC came to talk about the rights of the Native Americans, where Elizabeth State Caddy came to talk about women's rights, where Harriet Beecher Stowe came to talk about women's rights. And so we want to give a big hand, a rousing welcome for Pete Seeger.
A time of love, a time of hate, a a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. Refrain. Time to rent, time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time of love, a time of hate, a time of peace.
I swear it's not too late.
Way back over 50 years ago when I put this song together, I had to rearrange the words in the Bible because it didn't all rhyme. But my wife said, we had 2 children then, age 6 and age 8. She said, you ought to have some verses for children. Well, I said, why don't you make them up? And just this year, I was fun to sing. A time for work, a time for play, a time for night, a time for day, a time to sleep, a time to wake, a time for candles on the cake. A time to get, a time to give, a time to remember, a time to forgive, a time to hug, a time to kiss, a time to close your eyes and wish. Now we have some wonderful musicians up on the stage. Oh, we're in a different key. A time to fuss, cry, and make a fuss. A time to leave and catch the bus. A time for quiet, a time for talk, a time to run, a time to walk. rest, a time to eat, a time to sit and rest your feet, a time to teach, a time to learn, a time for all to take. A time for dirt, a time for soap, a time for tears, a time for hope, a time for fall, a time for spring, a time to hear the robins sing. So we keep on while we live until we have no more to give. And when these fingers can strum no longer, and the old banjo, too young, one stronger, when we can no longer, and the old banjo, too young, one stronger.
You are our inspiration home.
First, we got to sing one more song. There it is. The words of this song were written by one of the two geniuses I knew in my life. One was Woody Guthrie. The other was the man who sang bass in the Weavers, Lee Hayes. Lee came, his father was a Methodist preacher, but he was involved, he became a lefty during the Depression. He was singing in black churches and white churches, all in the state of Arkansas. And he knew many old gospel songs, just changed one word, and they had a new verse. So he sent me a song with 4 verses almost the same, except they changed just 1 or 2 words. I put a tune to it, but it wasn't that good a tune. Peter, Paul, and Mary improved my tune. And then the song went around the world. just the beginning of gardens all through New York and other towns. The little town I live in, 60 miles north, was put together 300 years ago by a 16-year-old Dutch girl who married an English captain. And he found she had a piece of paper saying that because her father had given money here and given money there, she had 20,000 acres on the side of the Hudson. And her husband says, let's go up there and we can sell the land to farmers. They went up there and they made a deal with the Indians. They'd only sell land in the valley. It was a big triangle. The Hudson was one side, the mountains going northeast was another side, and they surveyed a straight line from the Hudson over to the mountains. And they built a little house because there was a waterfall there. They had a big stone made with grooves in it so they could grind corn. And then the sailboat they had was probably 30 or 40 feet, not a great big one like the Clearwater, which is 75 feet long. But it was, they had brought the stone up there. The man, Captain Brett, was looking one direction, and the wind shifted just a little and caught the rear corner of the sail, and it across, hit him in the back of the head, knocks him in the water, and he drowns. Now this Dutch girl had 3 little kids, I think, none of them, all under 4. And I'm sure her family, and maybe his, thought she'd give up this ambitious project. But I call it the tugboat Andy syndrome. The husband dies, the wife says, I can do this job. And for 50 more years she lived. She got on horseback, or she got other women to take care of the babies. And she got on horseback and went around with surveyors. Let's sell a farm here. Let's sell a farm there. And she made deals with people who didn't have enough money they could pay over time. And they call her Madame Brett. Her house still stands right near Main Street in the little town of Beacon, although there were originally 2 towns. The waterfall they call Matawan because in the Delaware Indian language, Matawan means place of rushing waters. And then that town grew first, then they put in a railroad in 1847, and now the river part, and a straight line between the 2 got called Main Street. And the 2 towns grew closer and closer and closer, till exactly 100 years ago this year, they said, this is silly, they got 2 towns, and they became one town and called it Beacon after the mountain. Because George Washington had said, they ought to have a beacon on top of that mountain to guide the ships. Of course, in those days, a beacon, one man had to live up there and gather dry wood, chop it, saw it, and then when nighttime came, he lit a fire, and you could see this fire miles and miles away. That's what a beacon was 200 years ago, just a mere 200 years ago. Well, now, if we do our job right,